Have you ever wondered how accurate the Lion King is? And if there is indeed a vegan lion named Simba running around somewhere in Africa singing about the circle of life? If you just answered yes, then this video will definitely give you all the answers that you seek. Because here we're going to take a closer look at how a lion's life is really like. But watch at your own risk. If you somehow managed to avoid the Lion King the past 25 years, then this video will spoil it for you. And remember to like this video if you like it, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one in the future. Let's get to it. Lions don't rule over other creatures. I'm gonna burst your bubble right away. The real animal kingdom isn't as idyllic and romantic as is portrayed in The Lion King. In the real world, murderous male lions ravage the savannah and will stop at nothing to overthrow the current king in competing prides. And even though it's super romantic that Mufasa talks about the circle of life and he seems to protect all animals and not just his immediate family, and they all consider him their king, in the real world, the other animals couldn't care less about Mufasa, and he's definitely not their king. They actually just want to be as far away from him as possible. And in the real world, there are multiple Mufasas, or kings, and not just one to rule them all. The rivalry was Scar. In the movie, Scar wants Mufasa's throne, and it's hinted at that they have battled in the past, even though they're brothers and the only two males in the pride. And in the new remake of the movie, it's even more complex because it seems that Scar holds a grudge because Sarabi, Simba's mother, has chosen Mufasa over Scar in the past. However, in real life, this battle between two males in the same pride, and brothers nonetheless, wouldn't even happen because they're stronger together as a united front. Together, they're better able to protect their pride and their territory. So battling each other would just leave them vulnerable to other males, so that's a bad idea. Mufasa would obviously be the dominant male with the rights to all the females, but Scar would have his back. Let that sink in for a minute. All the pain that we've endured because of Mufasa's death could have been prevented if only Disney had shown us some mercy. Scar's mane. In the original movie, Scar is known for his black mane, and it's part of what paints him as the villain. But in real life, the darker the mane, the more attractive that lion is to the lionesses, because it indicates that he's healthy and strong and has high levels of testosterone. So in reality, Mufasa should have had the dark mane, or Scar should have been king. The odds of Simba growing up. In The Lion King, Simba as a cub spends a lot of time with his uncle Scar. In the real world, Simba would have been a goner, running around with a bigger and older lion that wants the throne. In the real world, about 1 in 8 cubs survive to adulthood. Especially the males live a short and brutal life. If the male cubs are lucky enough to survive to they're 3 years old, they're tossed from the pride. The young outcast lions unite with their brothers and cousins in hopes of surviving a run-in with another lion. Because in an environment where the lions aren't in contact with humans, the biggest threat to a lion is another lion. If the outcast lions stray into other lion territory, they're attacked and killed. If they stray into human territory, they're most likely also attacked and killed. And if they survive this and they don't starve, then they have to find a new pride. But of course, the existing males in the pride can't have this, so they fight and the new lions are killed. But sometimes a new lion manages to overthrow the current king and overtake the pride. And when he does this, he almost always kills all the cubs because he don't want to exhaust himself trying to keep cubs alive that aren't even his. And also the female lions aren't receptive to mating when they're nursing, so killing their cubs solves this problem. So as you can probably hear from all of this, the male cubs do not have an easy life. So even though we feel really horrible for Simba when his father dies and he's forced to run away from home, his life is actually pretty rosy compared to real life. And if Scar hadn't killed Mufasa, then Mufasa would have just run his own son out of the pride when he turned 2 or 3 years old. A vegan lion. Lions are huge animals that need massive amounts of proteins to survive. And the most easily available source is zebras, giraffes, elephants, and you get the picture. But actually, bugs are a pretty good source of protein too. But the problem with bugs is that a lion would need a ridiculous amount of bugs to survive. And that would require a lot of energy to find all these bugs, so the lion would burn a lot of calories and therefore need more calories, and it's just a vicious cycle that would require a lot of bugs. It would definitely not allow Simba to just lay around and be all Hakuna Matata, because he'd have to spend all day searching for bugs. So no, Simba would not be able to survive on a vegan diet. Lions don't return home once they left their pride. As I've already mentioned, in The Lion King, Simba is forced to flee his home when Scar takes over the pride, but he later returns to reclaim his home. In the movie, it's a really powerful moment where we're all rooting for Simba to come home, but that's not reality. In reality, a male lion would never return to his original pride once he's left it, or been kicked out. He simply wouldn't be accepted back, and maybe that's a good thing. Because we need those lions to keep making little lion babies, and it wouldn't be a very good idea if Simba returned home to his mother, aunts, cousins, and sisters to mate with them. Lions have an unconscious mechanism that makes sure that the genes are spread out so there's no inbreeding. So they know not to mate with their family members. So when Scar told Simba to never return, he meant it, and Simba would have listened. Nala and Simba's relationship. So that leads me to Nala and Simba's relationship, and you probably already know where I'm going with this. In The Lion King, Zazu very early on tells us that Nala and Simba are already arranged to be married when they're older. And their first initial reaction of disgust is right on the money.
Yuck!
Because they're either siblings, half-siblings, or cousins. So in real life, that relationship wouldn't have been very romantic, and it wouldn't even have happened at all. There are only 2 males in the pride, Scar and Mufasa. And there are a lot of different theories about this, but Mufasa is definitely the dominant male, so he is the male with all the rights to the females. And Nala definitely isn't a product of a male outside the pride, because then Serafina, Nala's mother, would have either been kicked out of the pride with her cubs, or Mufasa would have killed her cubs. Also, in real life, the lionesses of a pride take care of all the cubs together because they give birth right around the same time. So they protect and nurse all the cubs, not just their own. So it is actually a possibility that Sarabi could be Nala's mother and Serafina is just nursing her. Should have been the Lion Queen instead of the Lion King. The movie is the Lion King, but according to some experts, in reality it should have been the Lion Queen. Because in real life, the females are the core and the heart of the pride. They determine the territory and who gets to stay and who has to leave. The females of a pride are mothers, daughters, aunts, and grandmothers, whereas the males come and go. The females are also the ones who bring home the bacon and who raise the cubs. A male lion comes to a pride and stays long enough to produce offspring and to protect them for a bit. And then after a while, he's out of there and ready to mingle again. In The Lion King, most people's favorites are Simba and Mufasa because they're the core of the movie. And nobody really notices Sarabi. But in real life, she would have been a really important piece in their pride and story. Affection toward their cubs. Something that Disney did get right is the bond between Mufasa and Simba. Lions can be extremely affectionate toward their cubs, which involves a lot of licking, head rubbing, and playing, just like we see in the movie. And usually a lioness will give birth to 2 or more cubs, but sometimes she only gives birth to a single cub. And in that case, the parents would develop a relationship with their cub similar to what we see in The Lion King. So even though the real life of a lion is a lot more tough than Disney has led us to believe, there is at least still the cute relationship. So there you have it. Maybe Simba is out there somewhere. I'd like to believe that he is. but he's not singing about the circle of life. Now I'd like to hear from you. Did this surprise you? And if not, have you noticed any other places where Disney is either accurate or inaccurate compared to the real life of a lion? Then write it in the comments below. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, then please remember to like it and subscribe if you aren't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.